Fresh off of a hotly contested round number 1 at Imola, we're here in the dark in Hungary. It's the Hungaroring round 2 of season 6 of RCI's Porsche Cup. If round 1 was anything to go by, this is going to be an absolute barn burner tonight. Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Jesse Lee, joined by Ted Edwards with Ash Bibby in the box, bringing you continuing coverage of the Porsche Cup. The lights are out on the racetrack, of course, but the lights are on the cars. No real other weather to talk about, so let's jump right in. Ted Edwards, welcome to Hungary and welcome to round number 2.
Thank you for having me back. I haven't done this for a while. Normally sat doing the camera work, but it's nice to get out and stretch my legs, stretch my voice. But yeah, no, this is it's gonna be interesting having one make. I haven't driven anything like this for a while. I know they're not the easiest of cars to drive, so it's going to be interesting to see what people do. And Hungary's not an easier one, especially with the chicane that Joe's going through now, and you can see there the Porsche bouncing everywhere because it's so stiff. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun watch. We've got 23 plus cars. We see 23 in the timing tower. At the minute, but you can see the track map. There is cars everywhere.
Way more than 23 cars. I'm not a math magician, but that is, we had 37 on the grid.
Oh, there we go.
For round number 1, we've got 35. We did have late joiners in round number 1. I suspect we may have something quite similar indeed today. So many cars, Ted Edwards. We're in qualifying, 10 minutes, 15 minutes it actually was, to set the quickest time. So many cars, you don't think of Hungaroring as a particularly small racetrack, but it kind of is. 2.7 miles, or if you prefer New World measurements, that's 4.3, 4.4 kilometers in length. And space is almost at a premium. You see the track map on the middle right-hand corner of the screen. Very little space to work with and afford yourself. If anyone has any issue, just like the 999 has had exiting turn number 1, there's nowhere to go either on this racetrack. Also, not the widest place.
Yeah, it's weird because it's quite a short track, and so you think, oh, the lap time's going to be quick, but because it's got so many corners and it's quite low speed in most parts, it is quite slow. So 1 minute 45.337 from Matt there in 620. and then Raphael Hill just over 2 turns behind. But it's like on the straights it's wide, but as you can see here, it's like quite skinny, and you don't want to go too far off the racing line to try and do overtakes and stuff. And then coming up to this chicane, you don't really want to be too wide here because it's never going to go well. You're going to lose so much time compared to everyone else, and it is very difficult if you're a faster driver behind a slower driver due to, let's say you've been span out in the first lap and you've got to make your way back through again. It's very difficult to gain those spots back, knowing you've got the pace to get back up there. It's trying to pick the overtaken moves, and most of the time it's just a bit of a dive or a late break into a corner, and hopefully it sticks. And it's going to be tricky in these cars because I know the Porsche Cups, they're not as amazing compared to the GT3s on the brakes, but they still can get it in there. And with these talented drivers we have in this race today, I think we're going to see quite a few of those sends, Jesse.
Yeah, this racetrack is known for its sendability. Is sendability a word? It is now. But it's sort of known for that. But right now, Martin Lawrence is the king of the mountain of 45.325. Talked to him ever so briefly prior to qualifying started. Sounded cool, calm, and collected, but most checks sound like that, so it's quite hard to gauge how he was feeling. But seemed like he was in the zone today. Matt Whitburn, who previously was on the provisional pole, and your round one dominator, is 12/100ths off of the pole position. Will Stevenson, who I don't believe was with us for round number one, has qualified currently provisionally P3, a little over a tenth behind. Raphael Huell in fourth place, 2/10 off, and another 2.5 tenths behind him, Nico Kumpu. But of course, very fluid situation. Les Stevenson, the Roker Poker, inside the top 20, provided quite a lot of excitement a week ago. So did Seb Brunier, who perhaps didn't have the best qualifying, but raced incredibly well as well. Les Stevenson had a heartbreaker, I do recall, from 1 week ago. Lily Armstrong inside the top 15 also had a decent drive back through the field. Ted, you want to avoid that, don't you? You want to get a good qualifying. You want to avoid lap one drama. The only problem is a racetrack like Hungaroring, RCI has a history of seeing these fantastic drives, specifically in Porsches as well. We've seen so many great races in Porsches around this particular track. A lot of people probably sleep on Hungaroring. Not RCI, not these drivers. I'm expecting an action-packed race.
Yeah, qualifying, we don't always say qualifying is the key. Obviously, you want to be as far forward as you can. But at this track, it's one of those ones where I will say you want to be as far forward as you can, so you don't have to be stuck behind someone who has a slower race pace compared to the qualifying. You get stuck, you'll be stuck for ages as we go on board with Jordan Daly into this is a difficult corner, Jesse. To get it turned in and to get the exit perfect, which Daly just has a little bit of sliding exit, not what you want to do, but no traction control on these cars. Go down into turn 2 now. Stick close to that white curb without touching it, it'll push you out wide. Hook, and then back out to the left, and then fast right, and using all the exit curves as much as you can.
Here comes the best turn.
Yeah, coming up to the blind left hand, bit of double brake, in you go, the curb flooring. And don't go on the exit curve because it can give you an off track. You go around the right hander there, using all the exit curve again, and coming up to the chicane. This is a tricky bit. You've got to get them perfect. You can cut them just a bit, and if you hit them wrong, you bounce everywhere. Jordan just to hit that just right. Got the S's up here now. Pretty straightforward, but a very low speed gears, not even on the throttle. Just letting the coast round. Using all the exit curve there again, and then get back into another set of S's. It's a bit faster, these ones. And you can just hear dap in the throttle, and that is a off track right there. Just I'm not going to tell you that, it's way off the line. Down into 90-degree right hand, using all the exit curve again. And then we're coming up to the last 2 corners. these two are very, very tight and very, very horrible. You've got to get wide on the exit. There's a pit entry there. You turn off right. After that, you got the last corner. He's going wide, set up for another qualifying lap, but you normally hook that corner around, go out wide, use all the exit curb, and floor it to the finish line. It is a very difficult circuit, Jesse. You have to be precise at every single corner if you want to keep your lap times consistent.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about Hungaroring. It's a precision racetrack. It doesn't really matter what you're racing here, GT machinery, Formula One prototype, whatever it may be. It is a precision racetrack. You mentioned earlier you don't want to go offline here. The clag is usually pretty horrible around this place. Making a pass most of the way into a race is very difficult indeed, because you do usually have to go offline. It can be quite the undertaking, but they will get 2 wide, 3 wide around this racetrack, and sometimes even the opposite happens. You get 2 wide and you get stuck. I remember watching the Ryan Meenan brothers years ago race for lap after lap around here, just basically chained at the hip, stuck together around the racetrack, neither one of them able to outdo the other one at the time. So hopefully that doesn't happen this evening, but of course you never really can tell. This track, of course, 14 turns, as far as I can tell, really none of them named, but we just took a lap around here, and just the variety of different turns: high speed, low speed, technical, chicanes, hairpins, a little bit of everything. Some turns have camber, some are flat. It's a really difficult racetrack to wrap your head around. In pit entry over the years, we've seen drivers bottle it time and time again, getting speeding penalties, going into the Armco. Will we see something similar to that this evening? Jory Jodaway comes across and does improve up into P20. A couple of cars already in the pit lane. Bocci, Baddock, I believe I saw Greco in the pit lane as well. They will take no further part. 1 minute to 23 seconds left here in qualifying. Still no answer to your provisional pole sitter, Martin Lawrence. Whitburn, P2 for the time being. Will Stevenson, no movement for any of the drivers in the top 5. Behind them, Stubna, Dauber, Volpe, Boardman, Jordan Daly, who was in 9th place, down to 10th now. John Dalton joins them in the garage, but will come back out. He might be testing something here. No time to get a lap in. We are with Lucas Bilski. Bilski in the 7, a little bit out of place here. Usually would like to see him inside the top 10, and he may be threatening that right now.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. 40 seconds left. One of these drivers can get another lap in. We'll have to wait and see, but they're all pushing it. You can see that rear end stepping out again. They got ABS, but no traction control.
P11 for Lucas Bilski, and that was an improvement. I think that was a 46 or 45 flat, or no, excuse me, a 46 flat, and that did get him up a row on the grid. So that's a little bit more like it for Bilski. That'll be the end of their, no, it won't be the end of their qualifying run. They're on another flyer. They're one of the last cars that will get another one. I just the 197 of Daly just didn't get to the line. I believe the 41 in front of him did get to the line, and indeed they did. They will get an additional lap here. Nico Kumpu for Rebound Racing, the 256 on a flyer here, looking to improve. Already in the top 5, looking to close the gap to those in front.
Oh, see what Joey does across the line. 6th place, Jesse just moves up just a tiny bit, but enough to put him in to P6. If anyone else can move over, Stevenson halfway around the track, just over. P6 clean, might be get a good lap in. Can Matt take top spot away from Martin Lawrence? Martin is still going round. He's on his last lap as well. Oh, the wiggle out the last corner does not take it. I think he set the same lap time unless he invalidated somewhere, but I have to wait and see Here's Will got the 46 in front as well. Who's doing coming into pit lane now, testing out where the pit lane board is. Always good to try. I've made that mistake before and missed it.
Oh, huge slide by Will
Yeah,
Stevenson out of the final corner. And I don't think
I don't
that
think he
it
improved.
was not an improvement. Who knows if he
Martin
was
getting
up
the toe across the line.
prior to that. Is that a little international assistance by your pole sitter? I think it might have been Elaranta comes across the line and
He did
finishes
improve.
qualifying.
He did
He
improve.
did it. Martin Lawrence, though, on pole position. What a difference a week makes indeed. Martin Lawrence, a 45.275. Good enough for pole. An improvement from him. Has the quickest of all sectors 1 and 2. Matt Whitburn quicker in sector 3, 62/100ths. The difference between being on the left and the right hand side of the front row. Stevenson, Huel, the next row. Kumpu, Dauber, Stubna, Volpe, Boardman, Daly, your top 10 behind them. Bilski, Dalton, Keller, Bocce, Boddick, Armstrong, Brunier, Stevenson, the other one, that's Les Stevenson, Kaladian, Zodaway, your top 20. The rest of the qualifying results scrolling past your screen. 35 cars on the grid. Porsche Cup round 2. Ted Edwards, Jesse Lee in the box with you. It's not a Saturday night. Somebody's already pointed it out, but it isn't a Saturday night. This isn't Night Owl. This is Monday Porsche Cup. We're happy to have you with us. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us over on Twitch as well. Here are your championship standings, which are your race results from round number 1. Matt Whitburn absolutely dominated at Imola a week ago and is your championship leader by 10 points. Got maximum bonus points as well. Joe Dauber, P2. Miso Stubna in third place. Behind them, Kumpu, Dalton, Huel, Volpe, Lawrence, Peter, and Bocce, the top 10. Outside the top 10, Lily Armstrong, can we just say one more time the ridiculous comeback? Lily, I think, was as low as 28th or 30th or something after the lap 1 incident. One of the lap 1 incidents there, of course, drove all the way back almost to the top 10. Seb Brunier had a great showing. Elaranta, Keller, Kerrigan, the top 15. Callum Kerrigan finished in the top 15 after everything. Incredible. I didn't even realize that as the dust settled a week ago. Swingley, Zodaway, Pimlott, Kanako, and Les Stevenson, the top 20. Just absolutely incredible scenes. I suspect, Ted, we're going to have more of the same tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. 3 minutes and 20 until we get the full formation going. But oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I haven't watched a race like this for a while. Don't have to do all this camera work like Ash is doing. I can actually sit back and relax and have a look at these liveries without trying to rush through them. But no, it's going to be good. The time of day route is going to affect some people if you've not raced here in the dark, because in the daytime, seeing your braking points, seeing where you need to turn and stuff is easy. Like looking at the back of your hand without looking at it, you know what it is, you know what it looks like. But as soon as you in darkness, like you say, there's no lights around here, not even on the start finish. You do, you need to work out where your braking points are. It's so crucial. And then when you got 34 of the cars that got lights shining in front, behind, brake lights, whatnot, it can get a little bit much for some people. I know I struggle sometimes. Um, but yeah, it's going to be difficult for some drivers, but a lot of these have done this before. What's that? Something hiding there, Jesse.
Well, we have been told the Nearly On Pace team, they love a livery, and a lot of teams like to hide little personal mementos in their liveries. For Nearly On Pace, they have taken to hiding cats, I've been told, on the livery somewhere, and they're not in the same places either. They are in different locations. We have found one of the cats thus far. We were tipped off by one of the Nearly On Pace members.
Found
Oh, we found another one. We found another Nearly On Pace.
it.
Yeah, there it is. It's sort of upside down. It's going to have an interesting perspective, but we've seen stuff like this before. This is I don't think it's a new trend particularly, but I think it's new for nearly on pace to be hiding what appears to be very surprised cats on their cars. We've been tasked with finding them. We found two of them, and low light isn't necessarily going to help us very much. Speaking of the low light, you talk about the visibility and also finding your braking points. Well, 35 or 34 other Porsches not going to help you in that instance. Of course, easy to get dazzled by the lights as well when you're in the middle of a pack and trying to figure it out amongst yourselves. How do you survive here, Ted? You've done it before. You tell me, how do you survive a night race here at the Hungaroring in a pack of cars?
Patience. As much as you want to get through everyone as quick as you can, you got to be so patient. You got to understand the driver in front and the driver behind, how they drive, and get through lap one safely. Try and not do any silly overtakes. Try and not be silly and defend because your tires, everyone's tires won't be up to temperature and pressure yet. Get a lap in at least, and then see where you are from there, and then work out, okay, how's this guy taking this line? What the guy behind's doing? Is he trying to chill? Is he trying to just full send me? Patience is key. It's like the start of a 24-hour race. You've got to be so careful.
Well, how important is qualifying in a 24-hour race?
I wouldn't say it's that important.
But it is here at the Hungaroring. I just got one follow-up question, if you don't mind. What's patience mean?
Some people don't know, but it's waiting. It's basically waiting. That's what this. You got to be patient.
Oh, I don't think I have the necessary skill set. Looking to the YouTube chat, Kevin Boss has been a member for 26 months. He's an RCI TV supporter over on YouTube. He has this to say: who cares about who will win? How about the outside the top 10 finishes highest? Where will they finish? Meaning, I believe, to say finishing outside the top 10, who's going to struggle? Who's going to get those points at the end? I think that's a very interesting question indeed, because we all know that usually the race in the middle of the pack is just as interesting, if not more interesting, than the race up front. Kevin Boss with the commentators' question. We love to see that indeed.
I think Dalton's going to make some moves. Gonna get, especially if I believe there's a pit stop that normally is in our races. So hopefully he can get a jump in the pit stops. I'm not sure what they are yet, Jesse, but I'll have a look in a minute. I think
25 seconds fixed refueling required 1 liter, no tire change required.
Well, so they could take tires for an extra 5.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say, after going down to the driver's lounge after last week's race, there were so many drivers that did not take tires that were all upset, realizing that using those 5 seconds to take tires was absolutely advantageous. I think the majority, if not the entire field, will take tires, even though they're not required. Everyone who didn't take tires said that race a week ago at Imola was absolute hell on those old tires. The car was basically uncontrollable.
It's going to be the same here. This track eats your tires, especially if you're pushing. It's only an hour race, and they will all be pushing. So, but it depends. It depends what your strat is. Do you go long for the overcut, or do you go short for the undercut? And then undercut means you'll pit earlier, have newer tyres, and when everyone else pits, you'll have the warmer tyres, better pressures, and be able to either keep up or overtake them. And if you do the overcut, then you might be, you can go longer if you've got a better tyre life, but you then have to get your tyres warmed up very quickly. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. We'll come around the last corner, Jesse. Martin Laurent in pole. Can he keep it?
Well, here we go, folks. 35 Porsche Cup cars, 992s, getting ready to do battle here at the Hungaroring. It's round 2 of season 6 of the Porsche Cup, and we are green. It's a good getaway for Martin Lawrence. Whitburn with him as they thunder down into turn number 1. Movement out of fifth place, a little bit of a nudge as they're 4 and 5 wide. Lawrence gets through cleanly, but not Whitburn. There's a crash in the back. Several cars are off. The 96 is involved, but everybody else able to just about get through. Being told that's Redford and Ross. Oh, there's going to be a crash in turn 2. There's a crash in turn 2, an awkward one that sends a car careening off to the right. It's the 777 that has gone off. That's Gallimini, I believe, that just went off in that corner.
Indeed, Jesse. Too wide into the kit. Oh, this is not what you want to do. Oh, where's Kerrigan going? I believe that is Kerrigan. Oh, dear, these gold tyres. These gold tyres are catching everyone. Apparently, that's not Kerrigan. I'm not sure who is the pink car. Normally, it is Kerrigan, but it is not today. It's 28, so that is that's Kerrigan's number, but I'm very confused.
No, that is Callum Kerrigan. Callum Kerrigan is here.
I was right. See, Ash telling me wrong, Jesse. 668 is off as well. Oh, there's so many people having a problem. Roscombe's in the pit lane. That's return to garage.
About Roscombe in the pit lane. That must have been catastrophic damage to the 96 for about to give up the ghost here and come down the pit lane or tow to the pit lane. Up front, Martin Lawrence leads. Will Stevenson did get by Whitburn very briefly indeed, but Whitburn has been able to get back around Will Stevenson, Nico Kumpu, and Raphael Huell, the top 5. The 33 has gone off. A couple of cars, 3 cars that we see have not made it to the final turn. The 55 involved as well as they get it all going the right way. Jesper Swingley is not among them, of course, but still unsure exactly what happened. But they were halfway down the straight, but here is the replay of the start. You called it. It was 3 and 4 wide, partner. We're going to see that
on Joe. So nothing too much. Hopefully not a lot of damage on that diffuser. Further back. Oh, there's Redford in the background, I think. Oh, Redford gets tagged by Roscombe. Oh, yeah. And then, that's Roscombe there that got turned around. Yeah, interesting. Someone else in the pit lane. Jordan Daly. Or what's Daly done? Oh, is this the one where?
Yeah, I feel like that was on. It may have been a little bit of contact, but maybe. I mean, we saw very similar things at the Hungarian Grand Prix. So, not if they can do it, we can do it, right? Isn't that how that works?
And there's a lot of contacts. I think it's
just little ones, just a lot of little ones. A couple of bigger contacts that we saw did occur. A couple of cars spinning off, but nowhere near the worst start we've seen at the Hungaroring. Jack Mays has joined us in chat. Hello, Jack, to you. Thank you for your kind words. Jack also, this is a little bit more Peter Hollingsworth there, a little bit more argy-bargy, but they just about get away with it, as they continue to fight inside the top 20. Jordan Daly has dropped all the way to 21st place. Why. And that is exactly, and it gets worse. No. It gets worse. Another car involved. Oh, dear. Jordan Daly has gone. Its car number started with a 5, I could have sworn.
It was one of the LMP cars.
Oh, was it Seb Brunier? It was a 668, I'm pretty sure now. I think he had contact with Seb Brunier, and both cars that started well up this field now are right down near the back of the pack. Jack Mays does bring up a valid point. Even still, compared to last week's start, that was pretty tame in comparison, and I tend to agree. And just as Jack, you're not even here today, and you're still cursing people. Stop it. Oh, no. Riding the bucking Bronco is Peter Hollingworth, and they almost get away with it. Just about. Kevin Boss also reminding us that talk about hidden things in the NOP cars. Kevin Boss had a particular interest in hiding my face on his race cars at one point for Wheelie Slow. Those were dark days indeed. Carlos Caladia for Rebound Racing, maybe none the wiser of all of the carnage around them, in 16th place. In fact, I believe they just got by Masatoshi Kaneko, and they continue their fight. No, that's not Les Stevenson in front of him. So no, that's Toshi in front of him. So somebody else has fallen down the order that has promoted both of these drivers up into, up a couple of positions further up inside the top 20 as it stands right now. Les Stevenson holds the final spot inside the top 15. John Dalton in front of him. Hollingsworth, I think, has had another issue here. 95, Mike Redford. Can't see it, but I didn't need to know that there was contact. Another save by Hollingworth as they're now. This cannot count. There's a mandatory stop, but you have to do it inside the pit window. That will not count. So I wonder if maybe Hollingworth has suspension damage or is making an adjustment to the car. Nicholas Keller, on the other hand, a little bit of argy-bargy into one.
John Dalton just saying, I'm just here. Hello.
Is that fair? I mean, as a driver, you never want to be bumped, but I mean, realistically, as a commentator, is that fair? You know, if you're just giving a little nudge in the corner like that?
As long as it doesn't make them lose traction, you know, on the track. I think a little bump's not too bad. You know, you've got to be careful because, you know, these cars we've already seen, they get very slidey very quickly. You know, any little upset of suspension and they're just bouncing gone. But yeah, but that thing that I said at the start of the race that you asked me about, Jesse, that thing called patience, don't think that was here with us tonight for lap 1 and 2.
Do you know, I think it was for some of the drivers. I think it was for Martin Lawrence, for Whitburn, Will Stevenson, Kumpu, Dahlberg, Hill. Yeah, I 100% agree. Willie Armstrong, by the way, inside the top 10 after what was a well, let's just say Lilly was not particularly impressed with their qualifying prowess. You're absolutely right. It was about P16 for Lily Armstrong, but they've done the same thing this week that they did last week, though last week it was a recovery drive. This week it's just a drive up inside the top 10 right now. They've got Volpe right in front of them, Baddock and Boardman and Keller behind them. John Dalton, who didn't have a particularly great qualifying either, is, as you saw earlier, taking a position, working on that. Les Stevenson has since got by Masatoshi Kaneko as well, and that will promote Les Stevenson inside the top 15. Kevin Boss, with his RCI supporter message, mentioned as much that racing in the middle of the pack for these points is going to be very tight. It's going to be the interesting question, and indeed he is right. Osi Elantra, the flaming tires 41, and you will get some flaming tires around this point, around this track, as you pointed out earlier, partner.
It's still quite warm, 19 ambient, 19 track. It's still quite warm for a night race. At least it's not 10, 11 degrees, because trying to get tires warmed up is not great, but around here it's not too bad. But I think some people who are pulling it, there's a car, what's that?
Oh, contact here! Oh, big crash! It's a huge crash into the pit entry abutment. Several cars involved. Andre Baddock went for a ride. He was a move up the inside. The 80 contacted in huge crash into the tire pack.
I think that's number 2, Jesse. Trying to go up to the inside, but there was not really much space, because you could see when they got up the inside, they tagged the car in front, but they were on the curb as well. I don't think there was no space there to get up on the inside and put themselves into pit entry wall, which we've seen someone do that recently in LMU. Found it quite funny. But yeah, it's unfortunate that John Dalton at 12th now.
John Dalton is
I believe.
He's he's flying. He just didn't have a particularly great qualifying to John Dalton. I think I don't believe he was involved in an incident. Seb Brunier, his teammate, was involved in some manner of incident, but I think John just didn't have a particularly great qualifying. But they're certainly making up for it now, up into 12th. Another couple of spots for the nearly on pace driver. Nearly on pace. He's absolutely on pace. He keeps this up in the flagship 899 car. Martin Lawrence out in front has doubled his lead. It was nearly 7/10 of a second for the most part of the opening 10 minutes of this race. It's now doubled 1.6 seconds back to Matt Whitburn in P2. The Connection Lost racing car is stormed to pole and is now trying to storm away from the field. Stevenson is your final podium position right now. Kumpu, Dauber, Hill, Stubna, none of those cars have moved from where they started. I believe you've got to go all the way back to Lily Armstrong to find a car that has moved inside the top 10. You want to talk about patience? They certainly have had it in the top 10. Another incident for Jordan Daly. Maybe just a little tap-aroo right there.
A little bit. Daly got a bit deep into the corner. Got a bit wide of this send here. Can they make this stick? Oh dear.
Ooh.
That's
a little bit hard contact right there. I was just talking about there not being movement inside the top 10, and there has been a penalty. And you mentioned it earlier, partner. You can pick up track limits early here, and I think we've just seen one.
Yep. Track limits around here are so strict. You've got to be so careful. And trying to fight Daly, I think it was before he had another mistake. No, not Daly. It was Dalton. He was right behind Dalton. And dirty air, trying to fight a guy who's basically the same pace as you, and you're pushing, and you might be so far next to the car in front that you can't see where you need to turn and stuff, so you're making a few mistakes, getting a bit wide on exits and that. I think that's what he's done, and he's pulled to the side of the track and returned to garage, and he's done with this race, which I mean is fair enough. You do a drive through when you've got 3 laps to serve it, and you do it within those 3 laps. You've got to drop, and then you've got to be fighting to get your way back up, and then you still got to do a pit stop again. So it's very unfortunate indeed, but. Raphael Huell trying to hold off Joe here, who's on the inside into turn 2. Joe should have this in the baggie, and he does. Nice move. Oh, that's not very nice.
He's going to go off here. The Flat Spot Racing 21 is not going to have flat spots, but they are going to have dirty tires. They're going to give up another spot, so a horrible complex of corners for Raphael Huell as they go from what may have been a top 5 all the way down to 7th place. Joe Dauber up in 5th now. Subna making moves inside of the top 10 into 6th place as Martin Lawrence continues their torrid pace. They added another couple of tenths on that previous lap. This is the frustrating thing about racing Martin Lawrence. Philip Rhea, this is going to be contact. Oh, now that's just a silly little incident right there. A huge hip check. If this was hockey, that'd have been on, but I'm afraid all the time you have to leave it in space. Oh no. That was a humongous dive, and it's led to contact. Oh my goodness, it's a bit sloppy.
Yeah, we've got a helicam this time, Jesse. We can actually see it. So it goes late break, misses the breaking point. Misses the first car, hits the second car then spins out and hits the car that the first car missed. That
was a bit naughty.
So I don't normally say this, but this is where practice comes and helps, and it is difficult. These cars in general are just difficult, so that you need to get yourself comfortable with them, understand your pace, understand what you yourself can do, and what the car can do, but also what your setup can do, which there's many of them out there, but you know, there's this amazing great tool, Jesse. I think you know about it, right?
Yeah, of course. If you're looking to help out your sim racing ability on the racetrack, looking to gain some time, and John Dalton is looking to gain some time on Nicholas Keller, has to think better of it. A flash of the lights to Keller, like, all right, you could have just let me go. Nicholas Keller doesn't, but if you want to race like John Dalton and gain infinite amounts of spots in your race, or maybe even qualify better than John Dalton so you don't have to do that, Coach Dave Delta and the CDA setups can help you with that. You can check them out by going to our link in the description. They offer a full suite of setups for various sims, including ACC, LMU. The list goes on. Coach Dave Academy, Coach Dave Delta. Use the link in the description. Everybody getting a little bit fighty here in the middle part of this race. And I was mentioning earlier, the frustrating thing about racing a driver like the Czech Martin Lawrence is he didn't pull away early. You know why he didn't pull away? Because he wasn't abusing his tires. He was saving them. He was breaking them in and probably holding back just a little bit. Now we get 10, 15 minutes into the run and he starts to pull away. And if you're Whitburn, if you're Will Stevenson, if you're the lot, you don't really have anything to fight him with, because Martin Lawrence is fast naturally and he's able to take care of the tires. He's kept it inside the track bounds as much as we can tell. And now he's starting to pull away, and there's just nothing you can do about it. He's just been more gentle on his tires. He's more methodical in his approach. It's hard to beat a driver like that who refuses to beat themselves. And it's just, I know it's early days, but it's gone a bit perfect for the Czech.
Yeah, I think what Martin's doing, he's pulled his gap by keeping his tyres nice. Whitburn, well, was probably doing the same, but Whitburn's now dropped the time just a little bit by, I think, 4/10. It was over 2 seconds, now it's under by 1.8 now. So I think Whitburn's probably doing a bit of push, but he doesn't want to get into the dirty air as much. Because I think, even though these aren't Formula 1 cars, you'll think of it in the Formula 1 terms with dirty air makes you horrible, makes you use your tyres more, especially on the front, and around this track you don't want that. So I think pit strats in this race will come in quite nicely, and we'll have to see what they do. I would say everyone should be taking tyres. You would be silly not to take tyres. You only lose 5 seconds, but you can gain that back pretty well with new tyres, and we just have to wait and see what Martin does. If he's looking after his tyres enough that he thinks he doesn't have to take a set, then that'll be very interesting to see. But we'll have to wait and see. I know Ash will have pit stop times for us when they happen, so it'll be very interesting indeed.
Louis Armstrong going for a big dive, and that might have been a little too optimistic into turn number 1, but luckily everybody able to avoid, and Armstrong will be able to rejoin without further incident. They may have, I'm going to say they may have lost a position, but they haven't done. They got really close to losing a spot behind, but they'll be able to re-rack from there. Reading messages from the chat, Jack has told us that he doesn't want to take responsibility for the commentator's curse, despite the fact that, Jack, you've got to learn exactly how Kevin Boss has put it. With great power comes great responsibility. You've got to learn to stop saying stuff about racing drivers. Bucking Bronco there for John Dalton as he just about makes it through the chicane. We've been updated. Meerman is up 12 positions since the start. Well spotted indeed. A little bit of contact there. Armstrong has already caught Volpe again, and contact into the back of them around the back part of the circuit. Lily, perhaps a little bit eager to get going, and one look in the mirror and you'll know exactly why. John Dalton, who has been driving up through the top half of the field, Nicholas Keller in tow. Lily knows that they've got to get a move on here.
Dalton's probably just waving silly low right now with one hand on the wheel, just, excuse me, can I come past please? But with Armstrong in the first corner last lap when they missed their braking point. You just have to miss your braking point just the slightest, only by like a metre or two, and you are not stopping compared to the other guys in front who either braked early or hit their mark. And that it doesn't matter what corner on this track. If you miss your braking point just by that tiniest bit, you aren't stopping in these cars. They don't have the big brakes like the GT3s do. They're still racing brakes and pads, but they're not as good, especially with no downforce really. Yeah, you've got that rear wing, but there's nothing on this car that helps you. It can, you know, when you brake the nose dips, there's nothing when you dip, nothing to catch to with the air to help you slow down. So you just miss that by the tiniest bit, and you're going deep. And we saw there, luckily missing 2 cars, so very fortunate that no one was involved in an incident and Armstrong stayed on the wall, but Dalton just really wants to get past and just can't. And like, this is what I said, Jesse. Qualifying here is something you really want to get on point, and Dalton didn't do that, but he is making moves. I mean, Armstrong's made moves as well, so they're both doing very well. I do see the 95 of Redford's in the pit lane, the 668 is in. They're both now coming back out. Will be overtaken by Martin Loring and Whitburn in the 620. We go to a replay with the 717
again.
Oh dear.
A bit of a hip check, a little bit of space dispute there. But you mentioned the pit stop. You're very right. Redford came in immediately. They just happened to be at a position on the racetrack when that 20-minute window opened.
Yeah.
They were right at pit entry, so they were able to come in immediately. They take their stop. Seb Brunier, who was involved in an early incident, they have also come in. Raphael Huell is pitting out of the top 10.
Oh dear.
George Cerami has nosed it into the Armco. That could have been worse, but it could have been better as well. Oh, there was a car spun around. The 15. The 15 of Meerman, who had made all that progress, has looped it on the final corner. I don't know if they were trying to come down pit lane and they've missed it. Nope, they've just looped it coming through the final corner. No traction. We're getting to that point in the race, Ted, where the tires are no longer as sweet as they once were. Richard Meerman, who had made up all those spots, as pointed out by a lovely viewer this evening, has now given up some of that those places. I'm not even sure if I can legally say his team name. Meerman, that is. I don't know if I can say that. Can you say that, Ted? Is that legal?
Kevin probably could.
Kevin can say that. I'm not. I am not Dutch. I am not Dutch. I cannot say that. I don't think.
For legal reasons,
and I refuse.
We won't be saying
for legal
that,
reasons,
Jesse.
we will. Yes, indeed, we will abstain for the moment. John Dalton has got inside the top 10, but that's because some of the cars have pitted. You'll recall. Raphael Huell has pitted outside of the top 10, so that has promoted all of these drivers. Nothing here has changed. Roy Armstrong is still frustrating John Dalton. John Dalton, of course, knows Lily Armstrong. I would say they're somewhat friends outside of the race. Oh, a little bit of contact there, perhaps. A little get along, a little movement. But what I'm saying is they're civil outside of racing, so maybe a little extra care being taken by John Dalton right now. No movement out in front, though, except unless you're talking about Martin Lawrence walking away. 4.3 seconds, Martin Lawrence.
That was 1.8.
Whitburn. Yeah, it's crazy.
Is he not saving tyres now, or is Whitburn trying to save his tyres? I know Will Stevenson's not really making any moves. I mean, he's got Kumpu behind him. Dolber's got Stupner behind them. But interesting how that's jumped that far. I'm hoping it's not one of those tracks where you cross the timing line for a sector and it's different for a different sector. I'm hoping it's not one of those sorts of issues, but it does look to be 4.2, so it's very interesting indeed. Meerman's in pit lane for their pit stop. Daly came down last lap. He came out behind John Dalton, as we see into turn 1. Got Bilski and Volop. Volop going into pit lane out to serve their pit stop. See how they're all different. Everyone's pitting differently.
Yeah. I've been told I've been given the pass by Dutchman Kevin Boss to say crazy Dutchies. I'm given the pass, so I'll take that. And you know, if Kevin Boss wouldn't, you know, lead me astray, so I feel like if he says it's okay, it's okay. Look at the last lap. Our broadcaster Ash Bibby has brought up the last lap. We're trying to figure out where Martin Lawrence gained an additional 1.5 seconds, and best I can tell, Martin Lawrence had a he just gained a ton of time on a specific lap, but the lap before that, Martin Lawrence gave up quite a bit of time. I mean, it's ebbing and flowing, but it's ebbing in the direction of Martin Lawrence right now. Another couple of tenths this lap alone. The gap over 4.5 seconds is Martin Lawrence. This is what I was talking about. It's hard to beat a driver who refuses to beat themselves, and I've seen Martin Lawrence in a competitive setting like this give up the lead, give up time, refuse to chase, and then get it all back on the back end of the race. Of course, we suspect the majority of the field that when they do their stop, they will take tires. They're not required to take tires. They are required to stop for 25 seconds. What you do in the box for those 25 seconds is up to you, as long as you take 1 liter of fuel. 30 seconds is a 4-tire stop. So you have to weigh, is sitting in the box for those 5 extra seconds worth it? The answer last week at Imola was absolutely. The tires on these 992 Porsche Cup cars did not really stand the test of a 60-minute contest. We suspect almost everyone, unless you're quite desperate, will come in and take tires and sit in the box for an additional 5 seconds. Ted Edwards has saw something.
So Volop came in before Armstrong and Dalton. Armstrong and Dalton came in on the same lap but further behind them. Volop has now split Armstrong and Dalton up. So I wonder if they've taken tyres and Armstrong and Dalton haven't.
Volpe in the pit lane, longer stop right there, and they're behind now Lily Armstrong. That is effectively Lily Armstrong just had a really good stop, I'm guessing, because now they're going to be in 9th, 8th place by the time this all cycles through. A couple of other cars have pitted out of the top 10. Will Stevenson has brought the 3rd place car down pit lane. They're down and gone. No issues there. We normally see pit road speeding, pit road issues here at Hungaroring. We haven't had, I know I shouldn't have said that. We haven't seen any of them this evening. I shouldn't have said that. I just got on to Jack Mays about that and trying to teach him that he can't say stuff, and I just did it myself. What is wrong with the car?
Hello, who's that?
On the pit straight. It's one of the rebound racing cars. It's Nico Kumpu, and they're still backwards.
Right on the racing line. Traction on exit. Called it.
Correct, you are.
It's so easy. This is why I'm not in this series, because I can drive this car, but for an hour I will definitely do something like that, and then I'll get so down on myself, and I'll be so upset, and I won't want to race again, because these cars are difficult, and we've seen this from all the drivers here. Like, you know, Kumpu is a guy who's raced with us for ages. He's been in other communities racing and just done all sorts, and it just shows that even this guy who's done a lot of racing, it is done it on the last corner. It's so easy. So but yeah, these things happen. Keller's in the pit lane now as well. But yeah, looking back at Armstrong, Volop and Dalton's pit box time, or pit in to pit out, 1:11.3 for Armstrong, 1:11.5 for Dalton, 1:13.4, about 2 seconds more for Volop. So maybe got into the box wrong is normally the answer for that. and then you're having to be moved. It picks you up, drops you, and then picks you up again to do the stop, and it's a whole big headache. But fighting going on there. Probably trying to get past Armstrong. Probably brings Dalton back into the fight a little bit. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We have to see everyone else's pits, but not everyone has pitted. We've still got what's that? P17 of Doobie to pit, or P15 I should say, and everyone from 1st to 12th still needs to pit. So normally we see a group of cars pitting and another group of cars pitting, and maybe the odd one that's tries to do something different. But everyone's pitted on different laps, and there's only 2s and 3 cars coming into the pit lane as Bilski, the number 7, comes in now, all on their own from their group. So it's very interesting to see how people feel with their car and feel when they think their tyres are going off.
If you're wondering exactly how Dalton is so far or sort of behind and how Gary Volpe is in the middle, it's quite easy looking at the pit timer. It was a 111.3 stop for Lily Armstrong, which tells me 2 things, one of which they took tires as we expected. It would have been a shorter stop had they not. Volpe, though, it is at a 113, so several seconds slower. That was enough to slot them in between the fight between Lily Armstrong and John Dalton. Dalton's time was 2/10 slower than Armstrong, so nothing really doing there, except that was enough to put Volpe as the wedge between those 2 race cars, as illustrated by Ash Bibby. A little bit of contact there. Dalton is going to lose time here. We'll see what happens into 1. Cars coming out of the pit lane. Contact into the 23. That could have been quite a bit worse in the early days of ACC. That would have been a netcode issue, and that would have spanned them around. No such issues here today. Will Stevenson leads on the road for the cars that have pitted, and the top 8 have yet to do their pit stop. So far this evening, they've got 7.5 minutes still to get it done. Kevin Boss cautioning me about cursing drivers on the track. Very right you are, Kevin Boss. I should know better, though for some reason I do not. And I continue to do it. I continue to curse drivers accidentally, but I will say we got away with one so far. No driver has got a pit road speeding penalty that we see. Lucas Bilski racing very hard here, and this could be risky business as John Dalton's trying to make up time here. Bilski goes completely off of the racetrack. A flash of the lights from John Dalton. I'm a professional headlight flashing translator, and that was, could you get out of my way, please?
I think also they went wide, way off the track, which is obviously a cut, to basically gain an advantage to get a bit further in front to keep pace, which is what I would be mad about.
Kumpu, Cerami, and Swingley all in the pit lane as well. But no, Ted, you're right. It's one thing to try and make a pass, but when you're forward space and then you still get pushed off, you're losing time to each other, because especially when you're the quicker car, you're like, oh, this could just be rectified if you just swap positions with me. You know I'm quicker, but now you're taking me wide, you're taking me deep for no reason. Then that is also very frustrating indeed. And of course, for John Dalton, who is now, inarguably losing time, losing touch with Lily Armstrong.
Armstrong, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He was 8 tenths coming into pit lane. So Lawrence, Martin Lawrence is in, by the way.
Leader of the race.
Oh, count that, he's not in yet. Where is he? He can run to the last corner now, so they should pit as well. That should be that. Oh, you cursed it, Jesse.
Let's stop go 30. That's significant speeding in the pit lane. You can get a drive-through for minor speeding. Significant speeding is a stop and go 30. And Cerami in the 2-1-2 has gotten it. You warned me. Kevin Boss warned me. All of my co-presenters warned me. And that's my bad. That's my bad. Cerami, I apologize for that. I shouldn't have said anything, but I did. I will say one speeding penalty is still the lowest amount we've ever gotten at a Hungaroring race here at RCI. I promise that. My broadcaster is telling me to shut up in my ear. You guys can't hear him, but Ash Bibby is telling me to shut up. But listen, I'm covered on this occasion because unless Kaladian has a speeding penalty, I can say that and get away with it. John Dalton continuing to try and get by Bilski, unable to do so, continuing to lose time. Louis Armstrong, different person. Lily Armstrong up inside the top 10 in 8th place, continues to hold off Kumpu now, and Volpe. Armstrong by Nico Kumpu now, up into P7.
I did have Armstrong on the cars to be making moves. I had Dalton to be the one making more moves, but it's the other way around. Armstrong 16th to 8th at the moment. I'm not saying any more. I'm not like 16th to 7th even. I'm not saying any more. I'm not doing a Jesse.
All right, well let's not name it after me. That's just a little rude. I didn't invent commentator's curse.
212.
Oh, what in the earth?
Oh, it's well, there you go. There you go. There's Jordan Daly, and there's the 212 in pit lane. Yeah. God.
Oh, this is an interesting place to make a pass, especially potentially going 3 wide. They sort it out. Daly's taking a wide arc, but he's covered off by the 275. Is that 275 or 279? I think it's 279. It was 279. Swingley loses a spot there to Daly, who's on something of a little bit of a revenge tour. Had that heartbreaking round number 1, was in P3, was having an excellent battle with Stubna, I believe it was, for P3.
Daly.
And there was a disconnect issue. Daly today had an early incident, trying to drive back through the field, unable to do so, goes off of the racetrack, gives up a position again. Swingley gets back by Swingley again, looking up the inside of Rhea. The inside will become the outside, but he gets it done anyway. Jordan Daly driving angry, driving mad. That's exactly what you'd expect from a man from the north.
Yeah, I can tell you now, Daly's not happy. Obviously, having his incident earlier on and being this far back, with drivers that are definitely not on his sort of race pace, and he knows that. And that's like I say, trying to get past these drivers is not easy because there's not much track to use, and going around the outside of someone is not quicker, and it's not feasible because around this track it just isn't, unfortunately. And trying to get someone into a corner is the only way to do it, but maybe not into the chicane that really doesn't fit 2 cars into it. I wouldn't suggest, but it's Daly, and we know how Daly gets when he is focused on just overtaking people when and where he wants. But he's now going to try and catch Seb, who's in P20, so he's got that to deal with now. But apart from that, it's just I think it's just Kumpu and Armstrong that we've got a fight happening here with 21.5 minutes. So Huel as well apparently for P3. Interesting.
Kevin Boss in the chat saying that they're going to drop a hint as to what the drivers can expect for round number 3 in 1 week's time. Of course, we invite all of you to join us here on the RCI TV family of networks, either on YouTube or Twitch. Leave a follow over on Twitch, and a like and a subscribe over on YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything to do so. We are so close to 4.8K subscribers over on YouTube. That would be incredible. It seems like just yesterday we were under 4.5. We're almost at 4.8. I think we need like 10, 15 subs over on YouTube. So if you are new to the channel, leave a subscribe and a like. We very much appreciate it. We thank you so much for following us, for subscribing, for liking, for interacting with us in the chat as well. Jesse Lee, Ted Edwards, and Ash Bibby behind the cameras. Jack Mays joined us in the chat and was on the mic for round number 1, applauding Ash's camera work this evening. I know Ash is upset at the gantries but nothing he can do about that. He can't necessarily control where the gantries are. He doesn't get to place the cameras. He only gets to control them. My broadcaster's upset. My broadcaster is upset, but I don't know why. Nico Kumpu looking down the inside. Will Kumpu get this done? I don't think so. The track's not going to favor him on the other side. Kumpu still for rebound racing, trying to put the wedge in the door, unable to do so, and Lily Armstrong holds on to the position.
Yeah, just looking at Martin's gap to P2, it's 5.6, just dropped by 0.2. Stevenson is 10 seconds, but he is being hounded by Raphael Hulman at 21, so that's why he'll be dropping some pace. Joe Dilber is only 3.5 back. It was 4 seconds, 2.8 now. So with all this fighting happening, Jesse, there's going to be a three-way fight for third place at this rate. With only 19 minutes left, it's going to happen. It's going to be interesting.
Oh, I said a bad word is what upset Ashby. He doesn't like the G word. He doesn't like that. I mean, they're a necessary part of racing. They used to be a necessary part of racing. Now they're just used for advertising. But still, Ash Bibby, it was trees a week ago. It's gantries today. Tune in to Dragon Ball Z next week to see
trees.
What. Yeah, I know.
Like trees.
To tune in next week to see what trackside item is in the way of the shot. But where there's a will, there's a way. And where there is a will, there's a Martin Lawrence driving away. 4.5 seconds. That gap, I'm pretty sure, has been bigger. It's now under 5 seconds. I'm pretty sure it was over 6 seconds. Maybe that's Martin Lawrence taking care of the car.
Yeah.
Maybe that was him navigating lapped traffic a lap or so ago, and he did pick his way through there very carefully indeed. Still has a 5-second lead over Matt Whitburn. Will Stevenson in third. Huell Dauber, your top five. Stubna, Lily Armstrong, who, again, I can't say this enough, for a second week in a row, has driven through the field to get to where they are. Here is Martin Lawrence, the Connection Lost Racing driver. It's just not fair. Martin Lawrence is like a cheat code. When he's on it, and he's just hard, damn near impossible to beat. Today, qualified on pole over Whitburn and has driven away. It's just been calm, cool, and collected, exactly like what you'd expect the Czech driver to do. Neil Pimlott here is going to have a little contact into the chicane. They're going to escape and move further. Issue. Yep, it was Cerami. Very well spotted indeed.
Technically, Cerami was blue flagged.
Oh, good point.
So should have. Not like F1. You don't have to give the position straight away, but it is a nice courtesy to say, "Yep, I am behind. I'm not going to get any reward for trying to keep the place." But into the chicane was a bit sketchy. I think if I was Pimlar, I would have just held back a bit and then tried again. But what happens when you have these back markers and that, and it's very difficult. He's come through. Will they make the move on Armstrong? They should do into this corner. Armstrong goes very wide.
Oh my goodness! He was.
Grass.
Oh my goodness! He was halfway back to Austria with that one, I think. Oh my god! I didn't know where he was going there for a second. Lily Armstrong in a difficult position, has to recover. Scared the daylights out of me. Nico Kumpu goes through. He's able to cover off Volpe. John Dalton got by Bilski a little time ago. Dalton creeping back into the picture. Still has to deal with Volpe. Still hasn't been able to properly take care of that situation since the pit stop that put Volpe between them. That was sort of the linchpin that started the whole odyssey for John Dalton. Lily Armstrong losing the handling ever so slightly, but don't be concerned about the quick hands. Quickest hands in the West Lily Armstrong. But don't be concerned about that. That's only because they race on a controller, a gamepad, instead of a racing wheel. Speaking of peripherals, Kevin Boss just pointed something out. That's right. Martin Lawrence was racing on a old setup 1 week ago. It wasn't his preferred setup, and now this week is back on his preferred setup. And well, he was decent last week. He's even better this week. So well pointed out there by Kevin Boss. Raphael Huell, Flat Spot Racing, looking to take away the final spot of the podium here, Ted.
Yeah, but they got Joe right behind them now. He has caught back up, which is what I'm saying, because they're fighting so much. Attempt to Huell and 6 attempts to Dover for third, so it's going to be a three-way fight for third place, and it's going to be a four-way fight for seventh. It's going to be quite interesting. 14 minutes left, near enough. There's still a lot of racing to go, Jesse. 1 minute 45 to, well, probably about 47s for some people, especially ones in the fights. We still have 47.6 from Huell, so quite far off the pace. I would have thought 46 is this late. Yeah, this is great racing from these guys. Okay, but
I thought that wiggle. I thought that wiggle would have cost Will Stevenson a little bit more than it actually did. Huell unable to even really gain an inch. I mean, not the part of the racetrack you want to make a move anyway, but even still, I expected there to be more time loss, but no, he was able to somehow make that work. And he's not going to be able to make this work. Will Stevenson off the racetrack. This is going to be a crash. He somehow saves it, but he loses 1 spot to Raphael Huell and will settle back in P4. That could have been way worse, but the damage done. What a save. Are we in Rocket League? This is Rocket League.
I think it was AC Rally, I think, Jesse.
Hey, and if you want to pick up a discounted copy of Assetto Corsa Rally, it's real good. It's super good. You're going to want it. You can get a discounted copy of it by going to Green Man Gaming, using our affiliate link, and getting a nice discount. Green Man Gaming, check out all of their sales. Tis the season. They have a sale on a lot of stuff, but I personally recommend AC Rally. Do more rallying.
High five from Raymond.
No, you said, mate. You said that was perfect. Well done.
Just like Night Owl.
We're so back.
We're so back, baby. I missed that chant. But it is what it is. People not here on the 41. Just over 2.5 tenths behind. Got a little fight going on here. I was seeing a Stubner was 2 seconds back for lap ago. Now 1.2 to Dolber. That's going to be a 4-way fight for third place if this carries on. There's going to be a few fights going on towards the end of this race, especially this one here for 8th at the moment. Like Armstrong losing to Kumpu, but Volip and Dalton stuck behind Armstrong. Can't find any way past, as we saw from earlier with Dalton and Armstrong. I do not know where people are going to finish, but I do know one thing. Martin Lawrence, 7.5 seconds in the lead. He's got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, his biggest issue is lap traffic, right? He's got a couple of cars that he will certainly encounter. He's actually in the middle of some lap traffic right now, but he may even catch Seb Brunier, who's making a pass for P19 on Redford. Easy as you go through into P19 for the 668, who, as you'll recall, had very early issues. I believe contact with Jordan Daly sent them to the back of the field. So Seb Brunier on a recovery drive up into P19. And I think that might be the last car that Martin Lawrence laps as they come around. He might not actually get all the way to Seb Brunier, but we will see. The fight for P9 still well and truly on. Volpe holding off John Dalton. And John Dalton, I wonder if remember he was a little hot earlier racing Bilski. Has he had time to calm down, I wonder? Or is he still frustrated because he's still looking at a car that he knows he should be in front of right now?
Well, I'm just looking at it, Jesse. Volpe has lost another 7 tenths to Armstrong. So Dalton needs to get past, to then catch Armstrong, to then get past Armstrong, to catch Kumpu, then probably can get past Kumpu, but he can't make the move. He's struggling so much. He's only got 10 minutes and 10 seconds left of this race. He's not got long. He's not got long. So he's got to do something, and it's got to make miracles work. Stubner now a tenth behind Stevenson. Dolber got past Stevenson for P4, by the way, while we were watching that just there. So Will dropping back, was third for the longest time since the start of the race. And after having that kangaroo jump through the chicane, which is very easy to do, you can miss that little orange curve where you can hit it, and it's like pixel perfect. Replay here of a little tap.
Oh no! Oh my
that's
goodness.
why they've dropped back.
Ew.
Yikes! Well, that's what happened there, folks. Interesting indeed. What's that? Back marker in front of Dolber? It sure is. No, Dolber wants that switching, please. But, good, moving out of the way. 8 seconds in front of Lorenk, and Hill 15 seconds behind Whitback. So P1 and 2 just have to chill out. Hill just needs to just sort of hit every single apex, every single braking point perfect. Now with the 2-second lead over Dolber. Dolber, bit of clean air now, but it's cooling down between those. Not for Dalton though. Dalton is really wants to get past Volky right now, and I've been in these situations. They are not fun, and then that's where mistakes can happen. But John is a better driver than me, as he does do the sports stuff. So I'm pretty sure he can hold it together to the end of the race.
Well, if you're looking to elevate your sim racing experience, you can visit Ready Set Sim and check out their sim rig builder. Build the sim rig that you want, fits your budget or your dreams, and use the equipment you want. It's like basically Lego, but for building your own sim rig. You ever been to PC Part Picker? It's like that, but for sim racing. Check it out, ReadySetSim.com. The link is in the description. And while you're searching for sim racing hardware, go check out Moza Racing. Direct drive hardware, quality sim racing hardware that doesn't break the bank. Moza Racing. And if you are inclined, like Seb Brunier and a couple of other drivers I learned last week are in the field racing in VR, you might want to pick yourself up the industry leader. Pimax is the industry leader, in my opinion, for not for sim racing, but for VR headsets. And well, obviously that's great for sim racing. You can get yourself a discount on a Pimax headset by visiting the link in the description as well. And a big shout out to Motorsport UK for recommending us as an esports community.
Oh, 6 minutes 45 seconds left. Yeah, what a race it's been already, Jesse. It's a very hectic start. A few bumps and
it's never settled down.
Bruce
Exactly like this. It's never settled down, and I don't know. We just can't talk. Cars are going to filter their way through. Let's see what happened to John Dalton here. They're too wide in front of him. Dalton's going to try and line up, and I think the 23, that's Volpe, just slows down a little bit more than Dalton. You mentioned that very early on, Ted.
I think what the 23 was trying to do was slip behind Armstrong to get a good corner for a good exit, then onto the fast right-hander. So it didn't go too far wide, so then have to cut back in and, unstable the car. And obviously John just didn't anticipate that as much, because they were too wide at that point, and you would expect them to go too wide around the corner. So it was one of those things where you got to be quick, but there's not much you can really do in that situation. But that does make Bilski go up 2 positions. Just a little bit of a rub. But yeah. Oh, well there you go. Bilski drive through for track limits, Jesse. So after getting past two people who had a little scuffle,
Dear.
they're now going to lose quite a bit, and they're only coming to do their
Oh, don't speed coming
drive
in.
through.
Oh, that was a furious racing driver coming down the pit lane. But
Always
that
looks
is
faster from these cameras than it actually is.
It's
So.
true. That's true. I believe that's the first drive-through for track limits that we've seen today. We've seen speeding in the pit lane. Nope, you're right. You're absolutely right. We had Boardman earlier, didn't we?
Yep.
That
He just didn't
had him
complete his.
retire from the race.
Yep.
Bilski's the first one to complete their drive-through for track limits, and they will rejoin the race. The gaps were somewhat large. They, best we can tell, they only lost 3 or 4 spots. Actually, no, it's a little bit more than that. They lost about 4 or 5 spots, but nevertheless, that could have been a bit more catastrophic than it was. But surprised we haven't seen more of those, especially with some of the drivers racing really hard. Speaking of which, Carlos Kaladian for rebound racing, looking up the inside, giving Les Stevenson the sniff, giving him the flash. Can't make it happen. Les Stevenson, a brick wall, unfazed by Carlos behind them. Carlos gives another look. No movement from Les Stevenson. Les Stevenson, he's not finished, but he may as well be. He's not reacting to any of this.
He's not. He's doing really well. It's always scary when you're the car in front and someone has a look up at the inside into the chicane, because you don't know if they're going to try and stick it. And if they do, what do you do? But then your eyes are taken away from the chicane that you need to be hitting perfectly, as we've seen already from Will. Hit it wrong and started bouncing everywhere and almost lost it. And yeah, that chicane is not fun. Doesn't matter if it's daytime or nighttime, wet or dry. It is so difficult, especially when you've got someone behind you fighting for a position, almost pushing him around that corner.
Carlos Kaladian wants by Les Stevenson. Les Stevenson just refuses to care. You know, you remember the old honey badger meme? Maybe that's Les Stevenson right now. Just does not care at all about Carlos. Carlos keeping it respectable, but just giving him all these looks, but Les not biting on any of it at all. Not even flinching, just running his own line, allowing Carlos to do things like this, dive down the inside, but Les knows that the next corner favors him, and he should be able to get out just fine, and he does. Maybe a little tighter line for Carlos Kaladian. Carlos backs off, and that's what you expect from veteran race car drivers like Carlos Kaladian. Has been around a long time. He's going to try and arc it in. Here is Carlos. Nope, can't do it. Held off again by Les by not fanning out the corner as wide. Down the inside, nope, no room to get it done there. Oh, Carlos is going to lose it. Carlos Kaladian lost it trying to offset himself to Les Stevenson, and that's significant damage, and that'll end that fight.
Oh, he just got on the throttle a bit, I think, a bit too soon with the steering to the right, so it just lost his traction. He's got damaged front now. P13 got don't know if that's, I think that's the 73 behind him, 14. Oh, hello. What's Dalton doing drifting for? Can he make it around? He can get it around the corner, but he can't get it past Volpe. We've got Keller behind now as well. It's still kicking off. 1.5 minutes left. Where is Martin Laurent? Martin will get one more lap. Yellow flag somewhere. Going off track a little bit. But yeah, it's heating up there. Keller's going up in the background, but he's braking a bit too late, going deep. Got a few battles here and there. Stubner, Steven taking behind Stevenson. We've got this fight here for 9th with Volpe, Dalton and Keller. And then we've got further back, it's fight for 16th with Pimlott. Replay here. Fair enough it is with Pimlott. P11 on P16. Anyone interesting? A little bit out, side by side, going through the left-hander. All even itself out. It is the final lap for Martin Laurent, and it will be a final lap for Mike Redford in the 95 as he is behind him. They're still closing in on Stevenson. See if they can make any moves with one more lap to go for them as well. It's going to start getting a little bit feisty with people trying to get past each other. I see Dalton's caught back up to Volpe again as well. Saying that, side by side again into the same corner we saw Dalton do a drift. Going to try and run the outside again. Probably can get a cut back. And he's going to try and do it. Can he get the slipstream? Is he side by side? He's side by side, near enough. He has got the extra speed with better exit. Can he get him into turn one? He's in the right position for it. He has hit his brake marker perfectly. Keep that apex. And he will, but will Volpe get the switch back now? No, he won't. A little bit slow on exit. Dalton up to P9. Can he keep it now? For the last lap of his race. Martin Loring 3 corners away from winning round 2 with over a 10-second lead. Very, very interesting indeed. 13-second lead, shall I say. That is amazing. Oh, Bilski and Clatyard. Clatyard not very happy. Bilski does get past. Martin Loring is our winner for round 2 at Hungaroring. What an amazing drive by him. And here comes Whitburn in P2, round the last corner with a 15-second lead over Raphael Huell. What a drive by these two drivers. No faults whatsoever, pit stops perfect. Amazing race. Huell now up to the last corner. Dolber 2 seconds behind with 999. Raphael Huell for P3 for Hungara, followed by Dolber in the 999. Will Stevenson doing a drift out the final corner with Stubner behind, keeps P5, Stubner P6. Kumpu now around the last corner as well. God, what amazing drives by these drivers. And there's Kumpu for P7. Great drive. Where's Armstrong? That's the fight I want to see. No fight there. Dalton behind Armstrong by second. Armstrong P8 from P16. Amazing drive. Dalton up to P9 from P12. Volpe, Keller, and then we got Stevenson in the last corner. That's your top 11 so far. I think there's maybe some people still fighting Brunier. Led Brunier on Pimlott. Stevenson, led Stevenson, the other Stevenson comes across the line. 73 comes across the line. Clatyard having a little problem with Bilski. Does get back past by the looks of it. Something happened along the way. 2.5 seconds back. Clatyard P14, Bilski P15, Ganiko P16, 41 of Uzi in 17th. Daly, not a great race in P18. Pimlott and Brunier to round it off, P19 and P20. God, what a race that was. Oh, Loring, Whitburn, Huell. Amazing race by those 3 drivers. Dolber, Stevenson, unlucky for Stevenson, was P3 for 75% of that race, and I think the tyres just got the better of them. I do believe they did take a set for themselves, but yeah, just lost a bit there. Stubner, Kumpu, Armstrong. Amazing drive by Armstrong and Dalton with P9, and Volpe in P10. Jeez, what a race that was. 28 drivers, actually 26 drivers finished out of the 35. Boardman getting a DT along with, I forgot who got the other one. Ash, who got the other DT? Do you remember who got the other DT, Mr. Bibby? The other one. No, we can't remember. There was two drive-throughs for track limits, and there was a stop and go 30, which was the number 222, I believe, that got. But yeah, stop and go and 2 DTs. Very interesting indeed. Not too bad from everyone though. Everyone that had finished. But God, that was a lot of talking. I ain't done that in a very long time. Mr. Jessley has had to pop out for a minute. But That was some fun. That brings me back to the old night owl days, Mr. Bibby. Non-stop talking, constant fights. God, yeah, back when you used to race, oh, dearie me. Let's see if we get some interviews in here. Oh, well, a nighttime race at Hungaroring, it never disappoints. Ups and downs from all sorts of drivers. Jordan Daly having that problem at the beginning in the chicane and taking out Seb Brune by accident. Just comes off the grass on the right hand side, cuts across and tags the rear of that NOP car. John Dalton struggling all race to get by people. Not in the Dalton zone this time, actually in fights all the time, but just couldn't get past. Very tricky track to do that. And then a few more cars having issues here and there. A few cars succeeding in their race with Lily Armstrong going from P16, like I said before, up to, I think that was P8 in the end. So amazing, amazing drive. P7 was the highest they got, and then just dropped to place 2. I believe it was Kumpu who took 7th place away from them. But yeah, we just have some highlights here on the screen as we wait for some people to see if they want any interviews. If not, then that's fine. But yeah, dear me. Well, if we don't get anyone, then we'll do some go through what we have. RSS Ready Set Sim.
Ooh woo.
You can do your sim rig building over there. You can mix and match with your wheels, direct drive systems, and rig seats and all sorts. It's so much fun. Have a little play around, and it's a little bit of a laugh. Well, sounds like we've got 2 people here for interviews. I'll start with Mr. Will Stevenson. Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
Well, could be better after that.
What happened there? Because you were P3 for a good 70-75% of that race.
Not enough consistency, killing my tyres really. Just same kind of story. First decent stint, and then second stint not so good.
Yeah, I thought as much. Did you take tyres in your pit stop?
I did. I don't know how they died so quickly, but yeah, it must be something the way I'm driving it. Just took them out.
Yeah, must be. But amazing drive still. P5 is still a good result. Only 2 positions dropped, but we did see some of the contacts that happened, and yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. Racing's racing, and I mean, if stewards have anything to say about it afterwards, then we'll have to see.
I can't think so. It looking at it back, I kind of slid out the corner, then what was it? Dorber put it because his car where it needed to be, and I kind of closed it a little bit too much, and there was just bouncy ACC physics really that caused the contact. So yeah, there was nothing much to it. It was kind of half and half really. So it's a racing instant.
So, are you looking forward to the next round?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even remember what track it is. I'm hoping for slightly.
PI.
I'm hoping for slightly better tyre wear. That'd be
Card.
nice. Oh god. Okay, that's gonna be carnage.
And I've just been given some information from Mr. Kevin Boss about something to do with the next race, and he says it will be moist.
Ah, excellent. I'm slightly better in the wet, so that should be good.
well, there we go then. A little pick me up ready for next week. You have anything to say? You have anyone to shout
out? As always, you guys for doing the broadcasts. It's nice to see so many drivers on the grid as well. I think we had 36 at the start, which is great considering I think by the end of last season we had about 10. So it's nice to see lots of drivers.
Well, thank you very much for coming here, and a great race, mate. Even if it was a P5, P5 is better than P10.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers, dude. All right, who's next? I'll have Mr. Jordan Daly. Why not?
Hello.
What happened, sir?
Dalton happened.
Dalton happened.
No, me and Dalton went side by side, didn't we? I don't know what went on a little bit earlier. I got bumped in the rear, so it made me a little bit slidey. And then me and Dalton ended up side by side. I don't know if he took the curb wrong, but I couldn't go far enough back in my replay. But we collided. I hit the wall. Tried to come back on. The car slid straight away, and then I took Seb out, which were brilliant. Because I was sat with them both in VC. So that were a fun conversation right at the start of the race. Yeah, it is what it is. You know, we get on with it. I had like 30 seconds of damage. Carried on with it until pit stops, and yeah, finished where I finished. It were what it were. At least my connection didn't drop. Guess that's positive.
That is a positive we can take away from this race. Are you looking forward to Paul Ricard next week?
Yeah, I like Paul Ricard.
What about that rain?
Yeah,
We know you don't.
I don't mind. I don't mind. It's alright. It's Paul Ricard, so we'll deal with that. Yeah, I mean, no traction, but should be fun. Should be fun. The cup cars aren't too bad in the rain, so yeah,
alright.
Yeah, we'll be alright.
You have anything to say or anyone to give a shout out to?
You guys putting it on as always. All the drivers, and then my missus as usual. So yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you, Daly. Thank you for racing today, and hopefully see you next week.
Yeah, see you later, guys.
Alright, third place, Mr. Huel, are you here, sir?
I am. Good evening.
Well done, well done. How did it go for you?
I think I'm slowly warming up to the cup. Gonna be better next week with not a lot of curbs. Yeah. Early pit stop for me today because I think I was a bit stuck in the traffic, just fighting a bit, and I think it worked out. Gained loads of time during the pit stop, and I think the strategy helped me calm myself down a bit because the first 20 minutes were interesting. I didn't like the car.
I think a lot of people didn't like the car. I think also it's the track as well. It's not the most gripped up track to drive around, and it can be quite difficult. As you're changing the weight of the stability of the car each time you keep turning left and right with the S's and chicane and all sorts, and
yeah,
doesn't like bumps, does it?
Not at all.
Well, you're looking forward to the rain though? That's the question.
Definitely. Rain is a lot more fun than the dry, in my opinion. I do have some rain experience in this car, but maybe I need a bit more practice because TC off is going to be interesting, at least with
sure it is.
With some of the corner X's that Paul Ricard has. I think if it rains, we're going to see some spins.
I think we are. I think we're going to see some carouseling going around. But no, do you have anyone to shout out? Anything else to say?
Yeah, just as well as Daily, just you guys. I mean, it's a great series. I'm looking forward to the rest of the weeks.
Nice. Well, thank you and congrats on your P3, sir.
Thank you.
Well, now for P2, Mr. Matt Whitburn. Welcome. How was that race for you? Because you were sort of you were in what we call the Dalton zone. You didn't really have a fight in front with Martin because he'd gone, and then you didn't really have a fight behind because everyone else was fighting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. First of all, GG to Martin, he was absolutely rapid. So he was doing a lap after that. That was the scary thing. So yeah, he was too fast. Although I had a bit of a gap behind me, I was pushing. I got myself up to 3 warnings and thought, yeah, I need to just at least finish second rather than get a drive through. So, but yeah.
Is that why Is that why the pace backed off a little bit? You just didn't want to get that drive through.
Yeah, towards the second stint, I was still trying to push, but every time I ran a little bit wide, I just didn't take any risk. Totally off the throttle and hoped to get a no time gain at worst. So,
bit of a clenching moment when you get close to that track limits when you're on the third one. It's horrible. It's horrible here. They're so strict, and I've driven around here so many times, and you know, you've been in fights and stuff, and just one little slip. What is like I've been saying all race? It's pixel perfect. As soon as you go over that pixel, it slaps you with a drive through. And we saw two people get that today, and one was being Andy Bourbon, and he returned to garage because I think it was like lap 4 he got it on. So it's not the greatest things. How were your tires during
Um,
that?
well, I was pushing really hard in the first stint to try and keep up. So I basically melted them in the first stint. The second stint, I watched some of Martin's lines and tried to follow his lines, and I think overall it was better. Definitely, you know, the second stint I just let myself down with the warnings, but yeah, it was. The first stint was definitely worse than the second.
Good. Well, how are you feeling for Paul Ricard and knowing that there might be a bit of water on the track?
I usually not particularly good at Paul Ricard, and I've not driven these cars in the rain before, so I need to probably spend a bit of time having a practice and see what's what. I'm not sure whether you're on full wing or no wing. I'm not sure with these, so we'll find out. I
Well,
suppose.
but normally at Paul Ricard, you run a bit less wing because of the
Yeah,
straight.
yeah.
Because that straight it kills you. Even you could be good in sector 1 and sector 3, but sector 2 is just that straight. So in the rain, I got no advice for you on that one because I don't drive these cars because I end up backwards in the dry. So
Well, this is the
it's
first time we're doing a season in it, so they're good fun at least.
they're good fun, but I like I said, I couldn't race like you guys do. But no, great P2 today, great pace. Do you have anything else to say to anyone or any shout outs?
No, just thanks to you guys and obviously RCI for hosting it. It's I'm looking forward to seeing the stream later or tomorrow, and then hopefully my livery's on there this week. If not, hopefully next week.
Ooh, I think it was just a carbon car today, a
Yeah,
black
that's a
car.
shame. Never mind. Hopefully next week then.
Try and get that fixed for you, don't worry.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Thank you.
Cheers. Well, from P2 to our winner, Martin Laurent. How are you doing, sir? How was your race at the front near no one?
Hello. Uh, well, I'm doing fine. Doing definitely better than the previous week when I was driving on that non-feedback G29. That was just experience to forget because I was relearning to drive with my eyes from the G25. Yeah, it was. I mean, Mr. Wizard Seb again made a setup, so I just enjoyed it. Enjoyed the flow. I did like a little click just to suit it for myself, but the car was amazing. It was amazing to push. It was so fun, so much fun. And yeah, well, the consistency of the tires was a huge difference, as I saw, because on the peak pace we weren't really that far off, but like in the at least in the first laps. But then I didn't had the tire drop that violent. It pulled off after like 33, 34 minutes, like completely, but until that point, it's just rapid. So yeah, it was good. I
How
enjoyed it.
how many track warners did you have? Or
One.
was you so clean? One. Oh. Where was
Yes.
that chicane?
No, it
Oh.
was the what is it? T1. Then on the straight, that's T2. The hairpin, that's T3, T4. Like with that
Right.
weird curb
Yeah.
bump.
Yeah.
I just didn't want
Yeah.
to like let go the throttle, so I was like, yeah, well, for
Just pinned
once.
it and I was like, I'll take it.
Yes, exactly.
Fair enough.
It wasn't
Well,
that bad
no.
because I found out like the more I don't care, sometimes pays off.
Well, great
If I'm like
race.
trying to keep from the warning, I always get it. When I'm like, yeah, well, it doesn't give
Well,
me. It just gets the track cut sometimes. So, oh well. It's a bit random, but we know how the ACC works.
sure
Actually, we
that.
don't,
Well,
but hey.
you had a great race, mate, at the front. Hopefully next week it will be the same again. Paul Ricard with a bit of a wet track we've been hinted at from Kevin Boss. How do you feel about that?
It's gonna be fun racing. Always like I am not fond of Porsche cars, really. I don't like the track that much, but for some reason my results are kind of fine on the track, but I just don't like it that much. But racing is great on Porsche car because all on the slipstream, even if you are like 1-2 tenths slower, you're just non-stop in the slip, and it's non-stop racing as we saw in the previous season. It was just fun. It was just fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Definitely.
That's what we want to hear. Fun. That's what we want
Yeah.
to hear. Well, do you have anything else to say to anyone or any shout outs to
Well,
other
congratulations for
drivers?
everyone that finished in the dark Hungaroring, because when I just briefly looked on the replay, it was a little bit like a minefield. So everyone who finished, like, congratulations. And yeah, well, shout out to all of my friends who are like still sticking up with me, and all the teams I'm racing for. They
Martin,
are not like breaking the sticks all on me already.
Martin, I've actually got a question for you. It looks like you and Matt Whitburn have separated yourselves from the pack this season, and there's only 4 races left. But do you envision it going that way? You and Whitburn taking this down to the wire?
Well, you never know. You see, like in F1, bad plank, and just like the results are worse. So all of a
What?
sudden,
What? Why'd you have to? Why'd you have to mention that? Why? How?
so
How
you
long?
never know.
How long is your plank, Martin? How about that?
Yes,
Yes. Good.
definitely
Good
a yes
answer.
is an
Good
answer.
answer.
Yeah. No, but I will be just like I will try to keep it as close as it gets, the competition. So yeah, hopefully more wins, hopefully more races, more bashing, more overtaking, more everything. I like it. I just like the Cup Series is just always nice, and the Porsche Cup Series is always a thriller because the car is a little bit unforgiving. So yeah, it's fun. Looking forward for it.
Well, there you go. Back to you, Ted.
Well, that was all my questions, but no, congrats on your win, mate, and hopefully we'll see you in a top position next week.
Thank you. See you around.
See you later. Oh, Jesse, what a race that
Man.
was.
Yeah,
Oh,
you said it, Ted. It had a little bit of everything. 4 wide there at the start. Some excellent battles that came down to the final minute. Some pit road drama and some deserving podium finishers, I think. And Martin Lawrence, maximum points day, getting himself in the fight for the championship. Of course, Matt Whitburn is going to be a force to be reckoned with. 2 races down. Your worst finish is P2, doing pretty darn good if you're Whitburn. So we'll see where the players shake out. 4 more rounds left in the championship. Actually, 3 more rounds left in the championship. Potentially a wet race for next week. And as for the RCI calendar, well, potentially the finale of the prototype sprint series here on RCI TV on Wednesday to be determined. Check your inbox, hit the little bell to be notified whenever we go live and post live streams upcoming. We thank all of you for being with us, of course. And the big one, the championship that starts in December, the multi sprint season 4 in Le Mans Ultimate. It's what you think it is. It's multi class racing in Le Mans Ultimate. You're not going to want to miss it. The first 3 seasons were absolutely fantastic. We had 30 plus signups a week ago, 3 weeks before the series even takes to the racetrack. 6 rounds. It's going to be amazing. We do take a break for Christmas. So if you're worried about it starting in December, there is a break for Christmas. You don't have to miss any races. Go over to SimGrid, link in the description. Sign up for the Le Mans Ultimate Multi Sprint Series Season 4 here on RCI. We will be broadcasting it in full. Next week, the continuation of Porsche Cup Season 6 here in ACC as well. Potential wet weather. A couple of deserving winners through the first 2 rounds of this one. Can't wait to see how it all shakes out, Ted.
Yeah, can't wait, Jesse. I can't wait. I can't wait for our multi sprint season 4. That is my little one that I broadcast, and it's been so much fun seeing 2 different class of cars driving around the tracks, and we start off with Silverstone. I can't wait. Just mean I have to go and get the DLCs though, which I
Silverstone,
get
yeah, the
paid next week.
newest track in LMU, isn't it? It's part of ELMS Pack 1, as I remember.
Sure is, Jesse, and I haven't actually seen it yet, and I need to get some track cams made for some videos for the other guys, and does mean I get paid next week. I'm buying that straight away to help us
Ted,
all out. But
Ted Edwards, of course, not only an accomplished commentator, a broadcaster, leading the way in LMU broadcasting here at RCI, and known to me as my co-presenter, but also the voice in the head that tells me to shut up sometimes when I need to move on and get on with it on the broadcast. But we'll see you for that one, December 5th, first round of the multi-sprint season series. Well, that's just going to do it for us today. Martin Lawrence wins it in fantastic, dominant fashion today, much in the same way that Whitburn won it at Imola a week ago. Will we see a third sort of dominant winner enter the fray next week, or will we see more of the same? We'll see you live here on RCI TV next week for the continuation of the Porsche Cup. Hopefully, we'll see you in a couple days' time for the Prototype Sprint Series. I've been Jesse Lee, joined by Ted Edwards with Ash Bivy behind the cameras. On behalf of everyone here at RCI, we thank you for joining us. We thank you for